G'day my fellow media collectors. I'm Troy and today we are looking at a cartoon that was one of the OG shows that started the Saturday morning cartoon lineup trend that would become a staple in TV schedules for many years to come, and was the first cartoon to solidify Superman's status as a pop culture icon during the silver age of comics. And of course, I'm talking about The New Adventures of Superman is a series of 6-minute animated Superman adventures produced by Filmation and was broadcast on Saturday mornings on the CBS Network from the 10th of September 1966 through to the 5th of September 1970. The 68 segments appeared as part of 3 different seasons during that time, packaged with similar shorts featuring the Adventures of Superboy and other DC Comics superheroes. This DVD has all 36 segments from season 1, each with a runtime of 6 minutes each. It was released only on DVD on the 26th of June 2007. And it was distributed by Warner Brothers Home Video. This cartoon follows the iconic superhero as he battles classic villains like Lex Luthor, Brainiac and the Toyman, while also protecting Metropolis from various threats, consisting of short, action-packed episodes in which Superman uses his incredible powers to save the day, with Lois Lane and Jimmy Olsen often by his side. Superman confronts evil schemes, natural disasters, and alien invaders with a combination of moral lessons mixed with the thrilling, fast-paced adventures. This cartoon introduced a generation of young viewers to the mighty Man of Steel. Each segment of the show was really short, around the 6-minute mark, which resulted in some really tightly paced scripts with really little room for unnecessary plot points or exposition. This tight format kept the focus on the action, which was one of the show's real main appeals, as Superman would quickly battle a villain or save the day, maintaining this high energy level from start to finish for its younger viewers, shall we say. In line with the 1960s children's programming, the scripts often included moral lessons or public service announcements, with Superman demonstrating responsibility, heroism, and good citizenship to encourage a positive behaviour for its younger audience. However, this 6-minute format didn't really allow for much character development. I mean, Superman, he remained a virtuous hero, while the side characters like Lois Lane and Jimmy Olsen were really reduced to just real simple roles, with it usually being one or both characters needing to be rescued. And the villains, well, they lacked even less depth, no more beyond than, say, their evil schemes. The repetitive formulaic plots, typically involving this real quick setup of a situation and location. The villain gets introduced with his plot, Superman comes in, resolves the crisis, then right at the end, Clark Kent makes a joke or a pun about what he just did as Superman. That was it, in a nutshell. That is a whole episode again and again and again. Which, let's face it, it worked for younger audiences, but it lacks really any sort of complexity for, say, some older viewers like myself. Despite this, the simplicity of the show, you know, it sort of retains this real nostalgic charm, sort of representing that classic version of Superman and his adventures that we all know and love when we were kids. The writing really reflects an era of more straightforward storytelling where heroes were always noble, villains were dastardly, and good always triumphs over evil. And for that, that's where I'm going to give this a 23 out of 30. Look, the cartoon generally stayed true to the comic book source material, often borrowing storylines and elements from the Silver Age comic books, featuring Superman of course. This gave the series an air of authenticity that fans of the comics could recognize, with the familiar characters and plot lines, such as confrontations with the likes of Lex Luthor, Brainiac, and other iconic villains. The focus on traditional good versus evil themes made the show really accessible and really entertaining for children, while still honouring Superman's comic book legacy at the time. Even though the voice cast was small, they did bring an air of continuity to the show, with Bud Collyer and Joanne Alexander reprising their roles as Superman, Clark Kent, and Lois Lane from the 1940s Superman radio show and Fleischer Studios Superman cartoons, making their return a real nice nostalgic touchstone for maybe older fans, while garnering some new generation of fans at the same time. Bud Collier's ability to distinctly differentiate between the two personas, using a softer, higher tone for Clark Kent and a deeper, low, more authoritative voice for Superman, emphasizing the contrast between the mild-mannered reporter that was Clark Kent and the powerful superhero that was Superman. While Joan Alexander's portrayal of Lois captured the character's determination, bravery, and occasional recklessness as a reporter. Rounding out the cast, we also have Jack Grimes, who provided the voice of Jimmy Olsen, Superman's eager young sidekick, who did a great job of capturing the enthusiasm and optimism that Jimmy Olsen often had as a character in the comic books, as Superman's loyal, energetic, and somewhat naive photographer friend. But last but not least, we have Jackson Beck, another veteran from the Superman radio show, providing a narration for the series, and he also voiced a few villains as well, with his deep authoritative voice lending a dramatic and urgent tone to the episodes, enhancing the sense of excitement and adventure. All around, a great cast that solidified their legacy in the history of Superman media. And with this, look, I could only give it 18 out of 20. Here we have the case. It's one of those cardboard ones. It's not plastic. I've never been a fan of these. These are terrible, and you've got to get it just the right way to get them out. That's always a case. So I'll just pop that here. So this is the inside. That's the right there, and there's the back. And then we'll have a quick look at the discs. There's 1 and 2 with the inside shot there. Look, I like all the case, I like all the pictures, I like all the bits and pieces, but what I don't like is the cardboard. This cardboard thing is, and if you'll see, it's gonna, happens every time. You either miss it like that, or you can't get it in, and then it jams up, and then you're hitting the tab there and you can't get it in. Honestly, I'm not a fan of these cases, never have been. But as far as the look of them go, they're great. And that's why I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10. So when it comes to the special features, there is just the one, and it is Superman in 66 featurette, which only goes for about 15 minutes. Not a real long retrospective, but it takes a look back at the origins of how Filmation got the cartoon and how the cartoon really impacted the pop culture scene of the time. It's a great little insight into the cartoon. Look, if you like this cartoon, it is definitely worth a watch. Well, granted, it's not a lot, but it just gives you enough to sort of give you a bit of that backstory, as there is only the one special feature and it's not very long. I can't really give it much more than maybe a 4 out of 10. As I bring up the Rotten Tomatoes scorecard, as you can see, the critics came in at well, 0%, while the audience was 70%. This is because it's an old cartoon, and of course there's no real critics who are out there reviewing this, and that goes really without saying, but the audience score really reflects that nostalgic love people have for this cartoon. And look, I really agree with the score. Actually, I thought it would be a smidge higher, but seeing it is what it is and the audience has the score, what else can we go with but that? So as I round it out, we're going to get a score of 7 out of 10. So look, I don't really remember watching this as a kid that I can recall anyway, but it definitely brought back those nostalgia feels when I watched it. The cartoon is a very big throwback to those great cartoons from the 1960s, like your Spider-Man, Batman, Birdman, Space Ghost, and so on and so on, that I really loved watching back when they used to do reruns back in the 80s. Sure, the episodes were short and repetitive at times, but I think I liked them more than the Adventures of Batman from '68. The animation, though minimal, seemed to be done better in its execution and style. Even though I'm more of a Batman fan than a Superman fan, look, I got to admit it, I probably enjoyed this one more than the '68 Batman series. I think that's because the short episodes were packed with action and never really felt boring, just pure, quick fun. That's pretty much sums it in a nutshell. So with that, I'm going to give it 17 out of 20. Now, as far as collectability goes, this one is definitely a 4 out of 5. Look, you really want to have this in your collection. It is a great addition to anyone's collection. Very much a must-have. Now, availability, well, this is a 4 out of 5 as well, as it is old, it's been out for a while, and it's not that common. I tried to do some searches and found there wasn't that many out there at the time of this video. So if I was you, it's going to take a little bit of a look around. So your average price, well, we are looking at somewhere between the $38 mark to about $70 for DVD. So look, you're really going to have to shop around a bit as the prices do widely vary. Okay, let's tally up the scores. Now for the final score, we get a grand total of 76 out of 100. Wow, that's a great score for a great Superman cartoon, full of nostalgia. Definitely one to get your hands on. And look, maybe with a bit of luck, they'll do a Blu-ray release like they did those Batman's cartoons.
I certainly hope so.
Hey, so if you like that video, you want to see some more of my reviews, why don't you click that one there? Or maybe you want to see some of my collection updates. Got you covered too. Click that one there. And of course, don't forget to do the most important thing. Throw me a like, and don't forget to hit that subscription button on the way out. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.